welcome to part 2 of reviewing vintage pointed nibs from Entropy Ink. We're going to start off with this Ester Book 354, and it's pretty tiny, and it's got a tiny reservoir up at the top there. So this is another one of those super sharp nibs. And then also super flexible, kind of finicky to write with. But this is a lot easier to write with, or feels easier to write with to me than the other nibs that I tried that were similar to this, the modern nibs. So in my first, it was a first impressions video of a pointed nib sampler, and they were all modern nibs, but this, at least to me, feels easier to write with than the nibs that are similar to it. I don't know why I always write VI when I practice, but yeah, this is very, very nice. It might be a little bit difficult for a beginner just because it's so sharp. But other than that, really nice to write with. Next up is this Eva Extra 319, which is kind of interesting that it has these 3 holes as the reservoir instead of just 1 hole. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, y'all, I feel like I'm being punked because I prepped this nib and ink wouldn't come off of it. I added more water to my Sumi ink to help it flow better. Ink is still not coming off of it. I prepped it again with saliva. The ink still wouldn't come off. I even passed this through a flame, which I didn't want to do because it's a vintage nib, but the ink is just not coming off. Still, I'm just dipping it in this, water. And, nothing's coming off. So I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know. I've now tried this, probably gone back and forth about 7 times. Maybe I'll try it another time just for good measure. Nope. That's our first 1-star nib, because I can't write with it. Next up is the Sisson and Parker Educational Pen. Ooh, this is really soft to write with. Really flexible, probably a medium flex. And, thicker hairlines. It kind of reminds me of the Brows Rose a little bit. Definitely not as flexible as the Brows Rose, but kind of that, you're getting thicker hairlines, which, again, I don't mind. I think it kind of looks cool sometimes. Definitely easier to read sometimes. But just this nice combination of soft and sturdy at the same time. So it also might be good for metallic inks because it has such a thick hairline. So you want to have a nib with a thicker hairline when you're writing with metallic inks, because it's quite difficult to read if it's such a thin hairline and it's a metallic. So might also be easier to write with as well. Next up we have the Electra number 2, and it also has these 3 holes, so I'm a little bit scared that the same thing is going to happen that happened with the Eva Extra 319, but we'll see. It writes. It's so nice. I wonder if the other Eva Extra, or if this other nib with three reservoir holes was a dud, possibly. I'll try out the other one that was included and see if it works, but this is really nice. Incredibly flexible, really fine hairlines, as you can see. So super flexible, getting super wide shade widths, and then just really fine hairlines. So definitely 5 stars. Okay, I'm going to try the other Eva Extra 319 that was in the package, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, she writes. Oh, wow. Okay, so not 1 star. I think the other one just may have been like cursed by a witch or something. Because this is really nice. It feels really similar to this one, this Electra number 2. Just incredibly flexible and sharp. Oh, there's like a fiber. Okay, so I take it back. I'm so sorry. 5 stars to this one, and the other one just must have been, like I said, cursed by a witch. Next up is this Plume Diamond number 405. It's really flat. There's not much of a curve to the body of the nib. Ooh. That is really nice. So it's stiffer. Definitely probably the stiffest one we've tried so far for this video, but I mean, just really lovely to write with. But pretty much like a medium flex, I would say. Like you're probably going to get the same amount of flex from like a Nico G, I think. But really nice to write with. But again, it is a little bit far out. Like I was mentioning in the last video, because it's so long, it's a little bit awkward to write with because the point of the nib extends past the center of the staff. So you might have to readjust your flange if you're going to be working with this nib. Next is the Plume Princess number 730 from Blanzy. So also not very flexible, really similar to the one we just tried. The hairlines are a little bit thick, but as you know, I don't mind that. Wow, really nice. I really like this. It helps that it has a cute name too. I think both of these are 5 stars for sure. Okay, next is this Studious number 508. Again, kind of like flat. It's kind of interesting. It has a hole back here. I'm not sure what that would have been for. If you know, let me know in the comments. Oh wow, that's really smooth. Like the hairlines feel super smooth. Also, this is a bit stiffer of a nib. So just be aware of that, but it writes just really nicely. I like it a lot. You know, thin hairlines, not maybe a medium flex, and just really lovely. The next one we're going to try is this Turner and Harrison 87, and this was a company out of Pennsylvania. I feel like I'm gonna like this one because it's similar in shape to some of my other favorite nibs. Oh, wow. That hairline is super fine. And this is also more flexible as well. So it's very like soft to write with. But then that hairline is just so nice. Wow, that is really, really lovely to write with. Turner and Harrison 87. Next we have an Ester Book 355, and it's another one of these really tiny nibs with the reservoir super close to the pen point here. Oh, that's so interesting. So as opposed to the 354 that we started with, this one is not very flexible, or not as flexible as the 354, but I think that this would work well when you're writing at smaller X heights, because of course you don't want it to be super flexible if the height of your lowercase minuscule letters X height is only like, 2 millimeters or something like that. You want it to have that contrast, but also it helps to have that control over the shade width as well, so that it doesn't get too wide and then mess up the shade width that you're going for. So wow, okay, yeah, this is just, I honestly was not expecting to, I wasn't expecting to like all of these as much as I do. And even though even the one that I thought couldn't write turned out to be awesome. So yeah, this is also gives really super fine hairlines as well. But oh, I forgot to, I think all of these are 5 stars. Okay, lastly we have this Ester Book 135 double elastic. So it's a pretty big nib, but you're able to, push it farther back so that you can align the pinpoint with the center of the staff. And I'm guessing it's called double elastic because it has these 2 cutouts on either side. Oh wow, that's really soft to write with. And it's got a medium to I guess very flexible. But yeah, the hairlines just feel like incredibly soft while also being pretty fine. So wow, another 5 stars. So yeah, I was really not expecting to like all of these as much as I do. These were all just really great. I feel like I don't even have a favorite yet, just because I liked all of them so much. Maybe if I had to pick a favorite, it would be between like the Plume Princess and the Turner and Harrison 87. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to dive deeper into any of these specific nibs or other calligraphy supplies, and I'll see you in the next video.